Speaking of Romney, this is unbelievable. And I guess it can't be blamed on Romney, although I don't know if it's better or worse because of that fact. Now, did you know that Mitt Romney, and I'm not sure what to make of this, Mitt Romney did not mention the war in Afghanistan during his speech. We still have about 80,000, maybe 87,000 U.S. troops. I don't know. They could be somewhere between 79 and 87,000 U.S. troops in Afghanistan. When he got the nomination, his not mentioning the war that we're engaged in is the first time a Republican presidential nominee did not mention war since 1952, when Dwight Eisenhower was the nominee and just generally spoke about American power and spreading freedom around the world. And he, of course, was had pretty serious military bona fides and probably was dealing with a sort of little bit of war fatigue after, what was that? World War II. So, how to butch up Mitt Romney's war bona fides, I guess. Because this is a guy we all know did not serve in Vietnam. I'm not saying that's necessary that you need to. He got, I think, multiple deferments based upon his missionary work and then getting like a dual law and business degree or something like that. But instead, he went on missionary work to, well, to a country in 1968, 68. It's a little clue as to where he went. And apparently, it was not all peaches and cream, as it were. Here is Gloria Borger from CNN narrating a Romney documentary. I don't know. I guess if I want to be generous to Gloria Borger, she was just handed this voiceover lines from the Romney campaign. Although I guess that wouldn't be that generous. But to think that she actually wrote it herself or that a producer wrote it and she never questioned it is also not very generous. There's no way to explain this. Tommy Christopher has a great takedown on this in Mediate. But here is the audio. And there are pictures of protesters in France. And, well, here it is.
In 1968, France was a dangerous place to be for a 21-year-old American. But Mitt Romney was right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it.
There were protests, and there were blockades, and there were marches all over the country.
The streets of France were in chaos.
There was no train service. There were no buses, no newspapers. The electricity would go off from time to time. There were no letters from home. The money at the time came via check. That was our lifeline, was getting those letters from home.
So you're totally isolated.
Totally isolated.
The horror. Two 21-year-olds stuck without an ability to read a newspaper for almost months at a time. Sporadic letters. I can only imagine what this was like. I mean, just picture yourself. It's France. It's 1968. And of course, Romney and his buddy are like members of like the American Partisan Group. And they're trying to make their way through the city of Paris. And their only help is some guy named Jean or Claude who's telling him, Mitt, don't worry, I will get for you some bread. Or would you care for a croissant? Or would you like some jam with that? Or maybe a tart? Would you like a nice tart? A strawberry tart? This time of year, the plum tarts are wonderful. It will be very difficult. It will cost you several francs. And I know that you don't drink alcohol, so maybe I'll get you 2 croissants. Or a bread roll. Would you like a nice warm bread roll? I know this has been very difficult. You have not received a letter from your parents in probably several weeks. So allow me to bring you a warm glass of milk, or perhaps a crepe. Would you care for a crepe? Or a croque monsieur? This is a very difficult time. We only have open-faced ham and cheese sandwiches. But they will be toasted to perfection. So please, don't go out on the streets. It's very dangerous for an American who speaks only decent French. Because, of course, as a chairman of, the son of a chairman of a major American car corporation and governor, that you had access to a very nice education at your private school in Michigan. So your French is actually not bad. But I will get you a croissant for you. And then, of course, I will come back and just straighten up the apartment for you, because it's quite a mess, and I know how difficult that can be. You have to clean it up amidst this chaos. There it is. Just a little taste of what it was like to be Mitt Romney. Apparently, in 1968, there was also some unrest in Vietnam. In fact, I think that was the year that almost 17,000 deaths were reported in Vietnam of American soldiers. Then, of course, all the people protesting against that war and other things made it very difficult for Mitt Romney and his buddy there. They couldn't get their checks from their dad. And so they probably had to ration money. It's hard for me to say that without thinking about how difficult that must have been for him. So just stop. Oh, God. I gotta go watch something, some type of, I don't know what, I gotta just cleanse my mental palate of just to think of the horror that he had gone through. And then I find out that my parents actually took a trip to France in 1967 when I was less than 1 year old. And I don't know how they could put me in that kind of danger. Just, we're only 9 months out from that horrible summer of '68. The situation is running around, and unbelievable.